In the year 2000, The Matrix won Oscars for Best Film Editing, Best Sound, and Best Effects in both sound editing and visual effects. However, it's the brilliant screenwriting that has made this movie stand the test of time for over 20 years. With a satisfying character arc, difficult character choices, and constantly pushing the audience's attention to the future of the narrative, this film is a powerhouse in storytelling. Here are 8 screenwriting secrets in The Matrix. The Matrix presents us with a powerfully efficient opening scene in which Trinity and Cypher talk to each other on the phone. This dialogue provides an incredible amount of foreshadowing that gives us an excellent idea of the entire story. Let's examine this in more detail.
You like him, don't you? You like watching him.
Don't be ridiculous.
Let's see what this foreshadows.
I can see why she likes you.
Neo, I want to tell you something, but I'm afraid of what it could mean if I do.
You can't be dead. I love you.
Next, we have this important line that forms Morpheus' story spine,
Morpheus believes he is the one.
which leads us later to all of this.
You are the one, Neo. You see, you may have spent the last few years looking for me, but I've spent my entire life looking for you.
Morpheus believes in you, Neo. And no one, not you, not even me, can convince him otherwise.
He is the one.
Next, we have this line, setting up the expectation that Neo will eventually die.
We're gonna kill him. You understand that?
Let's see how that plays out later in the movie.
One of you is going to die.
I mean, how can he be the one if he's dead?
Jesus, he's killing him.
It is the sound of your death.
And finally, we have these lines.
Are you sure this line is clean?
Yeah, of course I'm sure.
This foreshadows the major plot point of Cypher's betrayal.
The informant is real.
Access codes to the Zion mainframe.
No, I told you I don't know them. I can get you the man who does.
Morpheus.
Surprise, asshole. I bet you never saw this coming.
The importance of the opening scene is overlooked by many screenwriters. The Matrix shows us the power of foreshadowing and how it lets the audience know the story we're in for. The Matrix presents us with a unique story world, one in which normal physics and rules do not apply. Therefore, in order for the audience to suspend their disbelief, the writers need to present the rules of the game that govern this special universe. Let's take a look at what's immediately presented to us. In order for us to accept things like this later in the movie, we're introduced to Trinity's special moves in the opening sequence. They show us the method in which the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar exit and enter the Matrix.
They cut the hard line. You're going to have to get to another exit. There's a phone at Wellesley Lake. You can make it.
She got out.
In the beginning of Act 2, Morpheus explains what the Matrix actually is.
The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
We then get the rules of the physics of the computer-programmed world.
Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self. It has the same basic rules like gravity. What you must learn is that these rules are no different than the rules of a computer system. Some of them can be bent. Do you believe that my being stronger or faster has anything to do with my muscles?
If you're killed in the Matrix, you die here?
The The body cannot live without the mind.
And finally, we come to understand how the agents work.
They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent. I've seen an agent punch through a concrete wall, yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules.
So if you have a unique story world, be sure to quickly introduce the rules of the game to the audience. Remember, clarity is king. The break into the second act is an important one because it propels the hero into the story and past the point of no return. In the story solution by Eric Edson, the author presents an interesting take on this story engine. In Act 1, 3 things happen. A trap gets set, the hero steps into the trap, then the trap springs shut. Let's see how this occurs in Act 1 of The Matrix. First, the trap gets set.
Now, do you still want to meet?
Yes.
Then go to the Adams Street Bridge.
Notice how this directly relates to Neo's biggest desire.
I know why you're here, Neo. You're looking for him.
So we see that it's a trap with too strong a temptation for Neo. Next, the hero steps into the trap. This occurs in several stages in The Matrix.
Get in.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Once Neo puts his finger into the mirror, it propels the story into the final stage. The trap snaps shut on the hero.
Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Let's go. Lock, I got him.
Now, Tank, now.
So if you're having a hard time propelling your story into the second act, consider setting a trap for your main character. One of the most important questions you can ask about your characters is, what is their biggest desire? In The Matrix, this is crystal clear for all of the main characters. Let's start with Neo and see what his biggest desire is.
I know why you hardly sleep, why you live alone, and why night after night you sit at your computer. You're looking for him. It's the question that brought you here.
What is the Matrix?
In good screenwriting, a strong desire usually comes with major problems. Let's see what Neo's problems are.
Something wrong, man? You look a little whiter than usual.
You have a problem with authority, Mr. Anderson.
You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
Now that we see this pairing of desire and problem, let's take a look at the other main characters.
You are the one, Neo. But I've spent my entire life looking for you.
Morpheus believes in you, Neo. He believes it so blindly that he's going to sacrifice his life to save yours.
What's the real reason that Agent Smith wants the Zion mainframe codes?
I must get out of here. I must get free. Once Zion is destroyed, there is no need for me to be here. Do you understand? I hate this place. I can taste your stink.
In The Matrix, we also see the biggest desires of the secondary characters. We discover what Cypher wants as he talks to Agent Smith.
I don't want to remember nothing. Nothing. You understand? Ignorance is bliss.
Tired of fighting, I'm tired of this ship being cold, of eating the same goddamn goop every day.
All I do is what he tells me to do.
Even a short-lived character reveals his biggest desire.
To deny our own impulses is to deny the very thing that makes us human.
So the lesson here, remember to give all of your characters strong desires and objectives. After all, if the characters in your story don't want anything, what is it that the audience is going to root for? It's said that true character is only revealed through action. This becomes even more evident when characters are forced to make a difficult choice. Let's take a look at how choices are constantly presented to the main character, Neo, in The Matrix. Neo's boss at Metacortex, Mr. Reinhardt, gives him a simple choice in the beginning of the movie.
The time has come to make a choice, Mr. Anderson. Either you choose to be at your desk on time from this day forth, or you choose to find yourself another job.
Later, Neo is given this plot-altering choice by Morpheus.
There are two ways out of this building. One is that scaffold, the other is in their custody. I leave it to you.
Because of Neo's choice in the office, he's captured by the agents, who present Neo with a new offer.
We're willing to wipe the slate clean. All that we're asking in return is your cooperation in bringing a known terrorist to justice.
When Neo is in the car on the way to meet Morpheus, he's presented with another choice.
Right now, there's only one rule. Our way or the highway.
Please, Neo, you have to trust me. Because you have been down there, Neo. You know that road. And I know that's not where you want to be.
Of course, we all know about this choice when Morpheus presents Neo with the major call to action that leads us into Act 2.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
In the big midpoint sequence, the Oracle presents Neo with a choice that shapes the second half of the movie.
You're going to have to make a choice. In the one hand, you'll have Morpheus's life. And in the other hand, you'll have your own. One of you is going to die. Which one will be up to you.
Later, we see this come to fruition as Tank wants to kill Morpheus to save the Zion mainframes from the agents.
You're gonna kill him. Kill Morpheus.
We don't have any other choice.
The Oracle, she told me this would happen. She told me that I would have to make a choice.
When it comes to Neo's final showdown with the agents, he's told that there's only one option.
Little piece of advice. You see an agent, you do what we do. Run.
Mr. Anderson.
Run, Neo, run.
But instead of running, Neo makes his final, character arc completing decision. Interestingly, this motif of choice is left for the audience in the closing scene.
I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
So remember, anybody can be brave and capable when things are hunky-dory. Instead, show us their true character and the choices they make when things are at their most difficult. What's the most important thing in writing a story? Is it character? Is it conflict? Is it to not be boring? It could be argued that the only thing that matters is making your audience always want to know what's going to happen next. Basically, keep their attention on the upcoming events of the narrative. In Paul Joseph Galino's book, Screenwriting: The Sequence Approach, he outlines 4 major techniques to do just that. Telegraphing is when the audience is explicitly alerted to a future event in the narrative. It tells us where the story is going. Let's see examples of telegraphing in The Matrix. Right before Trinity does battle with the police in the opening sequence, we hear this from Agent Smith.
I sent 2 units. They're bringing her down now.
No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead.
This makes us immediately want to know how one unarmed person kills the entire SWAT team. When Neo gets this call from Morpheus,
They're coming for you, Neo, and I don't know what they're going to do.
doesn't that make you want to know exactly what it is that they're going to do? When Tank says this, we dread what will eventually happen.
But eventually it'll crack, and his alpha patterns will change from this to this. When it does, Morpheus will tell them anything they want to know.
It doesn't have to occur in only dialogue either. Here, when the garbage truck points its headlights at the phone booth, we can quickly figure out what's about to happen. The second major tool for keeping the audience's attention pointed at the future of the narrative is called the dangling cause. A dangling cause is any kind of declaration of intent or desire for a future outcome. In other words, the dangling cause results in an effect in the future of the story. And audiences want to know what the actual result will be. Here are some examples in The Matrix.
I suggest you get out of there.
How?
I can guide you, but you must do exactly as I say.
I can't do this.
What if he makes it?
No one's ever made the first jump.
But what if he does?
He won't.
Come on.
Sooner or later, Someone is going to have to fight them.
Someone.
The third technique of maintaining the audience's attention is dramatic irony. When the audience knows something that certain characters do not, it causes us to want to know what will happen once those characters discover the truth. Let's see how dramatic irony is used in The Matrix. In this scene, the agents and police have no idea that Neo is sneaking around right under their noses. Here, Morpheus doesn't know that the Oracle gave Neo some disheartening news, and he maintains his blind faith that Neo is the one.
What was said was for you, and for you alone.
In this scene, Morpheus and his crew hide behind the wall. We're gripped with suspense while the police can't locate them. Of course, the biggest example of dramatic irony results from the crew not knowing about Cypher's betrayal.
Then we have a deal.
Okay. I'll get you what you want.
What is that?
What did you just say?
Nothing, just had a little deja vu.
What did you see?
What happened?
The tension from this dramatic irony is resolved once they find out the truth.
Surprise, asshole. I bet you never saw this coming.
And finally, we have dramatic tension. Put simply, dramatic tension occurs when someone wants something, but an obstacle stands in their way. This plays out in several moments in The Matrix. In the opening sequence, Trinity wants to flee to safety, but the agents stand in her way. Morpheus and the crew try to find an exit after Cypher's betrayal, but Cypher himself stands in their way.
They're in the walls.
Yeah, there was an accident. Goddamn car accident. All of a sudden, boom!
Shit! And of course, we have the big set piece of rescuing Morpheus. Look at how many obstacles Neo encounters.
Would you please remove any metallic items you're carrying?
Freeze! Trinity! Help!
He's not gonna make it.
Mr. Anderson.
As you write your screenplay, ask yourself if your story is firing on all four cylinders. Make the audience constantly want to know what will happen next, and you'll have them hooked for the entire story. Character arcs are a powerful engine that takes a story from good to great. This movie is no exception. In The Matrix, the main character undergoes a heroic character arc in which he goes from an ordinary man to someone greater than his personal limitations. In other words, he becomes a hero. Let's take a look at Neo's heroic character arc in The Matrix. In Act 1, we see Neo's image as Thomas Anderson, an ordinary office employee.
Thomas Anderson?
Yeah, that's me.
When he's confronted with the big call to action, we see his disbelief in himself.
Why's this happening to me? What'd I do? Nobody. I can't do this.
In Act 2, we see Neo gradually and reluctantly begin to come out of his shell.
Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me!
Free my mind. Free my mind. No problem, right?
Once the midpoint occurs, we see Neo begin to face the truth about his inner journey.
Only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
You got the gift, but it looks like you're waiting for something.
Morpheus believed something, and he was ready to give his life for what he believed. I understand that now. That's why I have to go. I believe I can bring him back.
In the third and final act, we see a significant change in Neo's character arc.
There is no spoon.
Trinity! Help
Neo, sooner or later you're going to realize, just as I did, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
And in the finale, we see Neo's character arc come to full completion. He finally becomes a hero by believing in himself.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
Goodbye, Mr. Anderson. My name is Neo.
He becomes something greater than his ordinary self by fully succumbing to his inner journey.
He is the one.
Not all stories have a classic hero's journey, and not every main character has a character arc at all. But if your story calls for it, take the audience from the ordinary to the extraordinary by transporting us through a heroic character arc. Although Blake Snyder's Save the Cat gets a lot of pushback in the screenwriting community, in his third book, Save the Cat Strikes Back, there's a valuable method for problem-solving the third act finale. This finale structure, called Storming the Castle by Snyder, breaks down into 5 major plot points. Before we get into the 5 steps, let's first identify what exactly is the castle in the Matrix finale. It's the skyscraper where Morpheus is being held captive, although the geography changes in later scenes. Let's see how the 5 plot points occur in the finale for The Matrix. Step 1. Gathering the team. In this step, the hero gathers the necessary teammates and equipment to be able to storm the castle. We see who his teammates are.
What are you doing?
Going with you.
No, you're not.
No? I believe if you are really serious about saving him, you are going to need my help.
We also get the gathering of equipment they'll need for the mission.
Okay, so what do you need?
Guns. Lots of guns.
Once the gathering of forces is complete, the story shifts into the second gear of the finale, known as executing the plan. In this stage, there's usually a sense of how impossible and crazy the objective seems.
This is loco. They've got Morpheus in a military-controlled building, even if you somehow got inside. Those are agents holding him. I want Morpheus back too, but what you're talking about is suicide.
No one has ever done anything like this.
That's why it's going to work.
Once the actual execution of the crazy plan occurs, the audience gets the sense that this might actually work.
You moved like they do. I've never seen anyone move that fast.
Gotcha.
I know it. He's the one.
However, not everything is as easy as it seems, bringing us to the third phase, surprise in the tower. In this stage, the hero climbs the castle tower to save the figurative princess. Interestingly, notice how Neo ascends the heart of the city hotel to room 303. The surprise in the tower exposes the hero's overconfidence in the original plan, as the villain, in this case Agent Smith, waits to spring his trap. Notice how we reach a point where all appears to be lost, and it seems like the hero is completely out of options. This pertains to the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar as well.
They're inside.
However, it's at this point of hopelessness that we reach the next stage of the 5-point finale, digging deep down. At this point of the story, all human or worldly options for a solution are exhausted, and the hero finds a solution through a faith in something beyond the ordinary. In The Matrix, this involves Trinity finally jumping into the unknown, her love for Neo.
The Oracle told me that I would fall in love and that the man that I loved would be the one. You can't be dead. I love you.
This causes Neo to dig deep down and find new life.
Now get up.
Once the hero has accepted this new faith, the story pushes them into the final stage, the execution of a new plan. In this final step of the 5-point finale, the hero trusts this new faith and finds a greater strength. And of course, we get the final catharsis of the story. Stories are like blueprints for humanity to strive for something more, to live our lives beyond the ordinary. Give us the magic that transcends normal human strength and takes us into the beautiful unknown. So what are your thoughts? Does The Matrix hold up as one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time? Let me know in a comment below. As always, I want to thank my awesome patrons for supporting me on Patreon. You guys give me inspiration and help keep the channel going. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to be notified of upcoming videos from Script Sleuth. More great content is on the way. Thank you so much for watching.